I can't believe it. It's beautiful. It's so perfect.
Hello, welcome back to another video. As you could tell from that Oscar-winning performance, today we're going to be talking about storyboarding, and in particular, how to storyboard if you can't draw very well. Now, there are a ton of reasons as to why you would storyboard. I think for me personally, being a visual person, it's a lot easier for me to show someone a visual idea of what I'm thinking for a shot rather than try to explain it with words. I know that a lot of people in video are also visual people, so I think it's a good skill to have. So the very first way to go about this, if you can't draw very well, is to simply hire a storyboard artist. There are tons and tons of amazing storyboard artists. Some make storyboards that look like literal comics, but they really convey the visual look and feel of a film before it even gets into actual production. But not all of us have incredible drawing skills or maybe even the time to spend. So that's where hiring out a storyboard artist can be really helpful. Now, if you don't have the money for that, if you're on a tight budget and you want to do it yourself, you can always draw with stick figures. That's kind of what I did with this example from the little skit. But a key thing when you're doing stick figure drawings, put on a nose. A nose will dictate what direction the character is looking in. If two characters are facing each other and you put two noses facing each other, you'll be able to visually see that without having to be good at drawing. Stick figures can be really, really useful, and it can help kind of get the image from in here out onto a page so everyone can understand it. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's 2023, why would I be drawing with pencil and paper? You could also use an app on like an iPad. Personally, that's how I like to storyboard. That's how I storyboard for work when it calls for storyboarding. Here's an example of one that I recently did for a project. And I used the iPad and Procreate to do this. You can just download a storyboard template, put it into Procreate, and you're off to the races. It's really great. You can do this with like Photoshop for the iPad. You can do it with other tablets that you can draw on. You could do it on your computer and just get a drawing tablet that plugs into your computer. I think digital drawing is a great way to have the ease of undo, kind of selecting and moving, duplicating frames, and it's a lot more accessible now. It used to be hard to get into digital drawing. You needed a lot of software, you needed a lot of equipment, but iPads aren't super expensive anymore. You can get an older model for pretty cheap, and the Apple Pencils work really, really well. Another thing you could do if you don't want to draw at all is use an app like Storyboarder. It's a free app. You can use models that they have in the program to kind of space out your scene. It's a really robust application. You can draw in it if you want to just draw. You can create animatics, and it's a great tool to kind of utilize that digital version of storyboarding with an app that has some nice references if you need to trace over what the human body looks like, or if you want to just use these kind of figures that they have and rough it out. Let's say you don't want to do any drawing, you don't want to use Storyboarder. Well, you can always just take photos instead. Your phone can take perfectly good photos for storyboarding. You can do it with just you, a few friends, get the relationships between the space and the people and how they're all interacting within the frame. You could go on location if you have access to it, or you could just set up in a living room, go outside into a park, and just get an idea of how it's all going to look together. Let's say you don't have access to other people and you have specific shots that you're looking to get, a specific look. Well, a website like ShotDeck, where you can search from thousands and thousands of cinema stills, is great for this. You can just type in what the scene is going to look like, whether it's night, whether it's day, is it a close-up, is it a wide shot, is it really foggy? And you can get tons and tons of stills that you can pull from and use those to kind of build out a visual representation of what your project is going to look like. This is super, super helpful, and even if it's not for your storyboard, you might still want to use an application like this just to get an idea of what the visual tone is going to be. So these are a few tips that you can utilize if you are not very good at drawing and you want to be able to storyboard your next project. Now, I would highly recommend learning to draw because it's super, super helpful just for composition, learning to kind of see the world as it truly is and learning to draw exactly what's in front of you. I think it helps kind of create a better visual eye, and it can actually be really fun, and it can be very, very therapeutic and really relaxing. I know that I really enjoy drawing, and it's helped to kind of get a better idea of how some of the projects that I'm going to be making will actually look in their final version. But that's all I have for you. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions about drawing or about these applications, pop them down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.